All right, we are live once again. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Chris, and this is We Love Comics. Got another one of the packages. A couple of them are being delayed, obviously, with all the winter storms going on, so who knows when they'll arrive. As long as they do arrive, that's all I care about. So if you're in the areas of the country where there is some big snowstorms and ice storms, all I could say is be careful. And like I said yesterday, move to Florida because where I live, it's about between 75 and 80 degrees, but we will be getting a cold front ourselves all next week, which will bring us between the upper 50s to upper 30s at night. So that's not exactly warm weather, but no snow, so we don't have to worry about that. So just be safe out there, especially if you don't have to drive. Stay at home, spend some time with your loved ones. While I'm waiting for people to come on in to see I am live, I'm trying a new experiment. Every single live video I do, if I get 10 people that give 10 separate super chats, within the time period of me being live, I will randomly pick one of the people that pledged to win a 90% silver dime. And if you see that silver is now over $103 an ounce, that dime is definitely not worth a dime. I can tell you that. Um, for every dollar you put in, the you'll get an extra chance. So if you do 10, you get 10 different chances. So what I'll do is, like I said, if I get 10 people to do 10 different super chats, and this is going to be every single live video I do from here on out until I run out of dimes. So if 10 people do 10 separate super chats, by the time this video ends, I will randomly pick one of them to win that 90% silver dime. I will mail it anywhere around the world and I will pay for the shipping and handling. So we got, that's a long name. I'm just going to say Ray says, how's it going? It's going well. Hopefully you are doing well yourself. Amazing Murfinator. Good to see you again, my friend. He is one of the OG comic channels. So if you are not familiar with his channel, please go subscribe, check him out. He's been around longer than I have and definitely knows his stuff and got a great collection. So personal shout out to you. Good to see you. He says, let's go 90% silver. Such fun ride. Yeah, if you've been following that, and I have since about 2005, what many people mocked us for over a decade are now wishing they would have listened to us, those that have accumulated physical gold and silver. Now, I don't have millions of ounces or anything like that, but I have a couple of dimes that I could give away to some lucky viewer. So, like I said, any video from now on, if I get 10 super chats or more, um, while the video is live, I will randomly pick one of those people to win a 90% silver dime. And for every dollar you contribute in it, you'll get an entry. So the more you put in, the more chances you have to win. So Ray says, I watch your channel frequently. Thank you. I appreciate that. Hopefully you've learned something. And I really appreciate your viewership. So if you want to critique the AI art, by all means, please do. Shout out to my Patreon members, including our newest member who's not on here, Brian Hood. He's also one of my moderators. If you want your name up here, or you just want to support my channel, you can go to patreon.com/we love comics. Any paid Patreon member gets early access to any of my auctions that I do, which means you can know all of the comics before anybody else does, and you can actually make an offer on any of them before anybody else even knows what's for sale. And if I accept that offer, that comic is off limits for anybody else. So it'll never see the light of day of the auction. So if you're somebody that buys from me frequently, that is advantageous. There is no minimum amount to get that. In other words, I don't do any kind of like $20 level to do that. You could do the bare minimum. So if that's something that will help you, and also know that most of the majority of the contributions help me with all the stray animals I take care of. Um, Patreon.com/we love comics. Ronald says, heard Sergeant Fury 9.4 CGC sold for 120 grand. Um, these days, nothing's impossible. I haven't checked it to verify, but if somebody spent 120 grand for a Sergeant Fury number one, even at a 9.8, I mean, with 120 grand, if that's true, that person must really love Sergeant Fury because with 120 grand, I mean, you're talking Detective Comics 27, Action Comics number one level money, even in low grade. I'd much rather have a low grade Action Comics number one than even a 9.8 Sergeant Fury number one. But hey, each their own. One person's trash is another person's treasure. So God bless them, Allah bless them, Cabbage Patch Kid bless them, whatever. If you got that kind of throwaway money, I guess it really doesn't matter unless it's a personal preference. So again, I don't know if that's true, but if it is, I wouldn't have done it. So anybody reading this or watching this, whether it's live or later, put it in the comment section. If you had $120,000 to kind of throw away, first of all, congratulations. But would you have purchased a Sergeant Fury #1 at a 9.4? I wouldn't even pay for a 10.0, 120 grand. So many different books. You can get a pretty nice graded Amazing Fantasy 15. You can get a nice, you know, probably, I don't know about the first, well, yeah, Wonder Woman first appearance. You can get a nice first appearance of Wonder Woman, nice first appearance of Batman, Superman. Well, I'd rather have those, but, to each their own. Patreon giveaway. If we get 20 paid members in any given month, you can see the different tiers based on the different levels. For every $2 that you put into the Patreon, you'll get one entry. So the more you contribute, the more chances once we get to 20 paid members. Ray says, I know that you deal a lot in major keys and things like that, but do you have any filler books that I could ask about 70s to present? Email me at peacefulfeelings@yahoo.com. And if you want to know anything, I'll try and do my best to help you. So, yeah, peacefulfeelings@yahoo.com. And if you have any questions, I'll be more than happy to do my best to try and answer it. And Ronald says it was sold by Comic Book Addiction. Well, whoever sold that book has got to be thrilled out of their mind. I mean, it's not a bad book, but in my opinion, not $120,000 book. But hey, if it's sold and that person paid it, then that person's got a lot of money. And the person that sold that book has got to be sitting there with his jaw literally down to the floor like a cartoon character that just saw a cartoon female walk down the street. So to each their own. All right, let's get into the comic unboxing. It is actually a box this time, and they were nice enough to put the French word for gilly into, well, onto the box. That's very nice of them. I already cut open the sides to make this easy. Now, this one has a nice little story behind it. And of course, I always will tell you any significance because you guys know I always tend to get e-books for the most part. So people that used to say, oh, Chris, you used to do all these buy 10 different books to buy now. How come you don't do that anymore? Well, because most of the books I've been recommending since 2017 are still valid to get today. So I don't want to just rehash the same video over and over again. But if you watch these unboxings, you'll see books that I would recommend people to get because, like I say, 99 out of 100 times, I'm buying key issues. So pay attention to these type of videos, and you'll see books that I would highly recommend to get. Now, I always get and make deals. I highly recommend people try and get and make deals. That's a Silver Age Surfer, first one to do the super chat. Thank you. I appreciate that, by the way. Says, looking forward to seeing the books. Everyone. Oh, hold on. Let me move this screen so I could read the whole thing. Looking forward to seeing books everyone gets in 2026. I still have to do my video of the top books I got in 2025. That's going to be coming shortly. So, if anybody wants to put a key book they've already gotten in 2026, put it in the comments section. So, absolutely. I love watching other people's videos, especially when they do like CGC unboxings, PGX, CBCS, EGS, any of them. So if you're a person that does those kind of, especially if they are ones where you don't know the grade. And the only one I won't watch is when somebody does a 9.8 pre-screen. Because, surprise, surprise, if they show you a graded book, guess what? It's a 9.8. To me, that's not very exciting, but hey, each their own. So this is a lower grade. So if you've been watching me a while, you know what I'm about to say. If you know what I'm about to say, put it in the live chat or in the comment section. And we only need 9 more people. If they do the super chats, doesn't matter the amount, but like I said, for every dollar you put in, you get an extra um of extra chance. You can win that 90% silver dime. So this looks pretty darn good for a lower grade. And just in case if you don't know, my phrase is Low grade is better than no grade. So let's show the book. I actually have a copy of this book. I was able to acquire a second one. This is definitely a key book. This is Flash 105. Now, somebody will say, well, what's so great about number 105? Well, this is technically the new Flash Barry Allen's first book, first solo book. So this is technically Flash number 1 because the Golden Age Flash went until issue 104. That was with the original Flash. And then because Barry Allen came into the scene and became very popular, he got his own comic strip and Barry Allen took over. So it went from the original Golden Age Flash that ended in 104 to starting at issue 105. Now, this is the first appearance of the Mirror Master, but I mean, that's a D level character at best, maybe a C minus character. And if you're Spanish, maybe it's just a C or a person that lives underwater. These are the jokes. So this is, you can see, there is all the way down the spine, color break increases. So this is probably going to be between a 2.5 to probably a 3.0. Because colors, I mean, this book came out, I believe, in 1959. Correct me if I'm wrong. But the colors, I mean, especially with the Flash right there, those reds are nice and deep. So the majority of the problems is along the spine. I mean, you're talking a book this old from the 1950s. There's going to be plenty of people that read it. But it is complete as far as I know. Staples are intact. Centerfold is intact. Here's the thing. This is actually pretty, not a majorly expensive book, but definitely not something you're finding in the dollar bin. So, if you're live, tell me if you would have saw this, because this was a buy it now best offer. What would have been a best offer? You know, I don't want somebody to say, oh yeah, I would have offered $50. Well, that's great, but the person selling it would probably just laugh at you. So what would be the highest amount you would have offered for this book with realistic numbers that the seller would say, I would sell it to that person for that price? So in other words, if you're saying, no, I would offer $100, the person's going to laugh at you because you couldn't even get a coverless version of this book for $100. So that's why I always encourage people to look up prices so you get a general idea. So this way, if you see a book listed, like a newly listed, like this book, or a book that's about to end in an auction, you don't assume the price is good or bad. You don't guess if a price is good or bad. You know when you see a book that, okay, this book looks around a 2.5, 3.0. A 2.5 to 3.0 is worth $5,000. This person lists it at 800. I'm going to buy that right now. Or if you see $1,000 book that's about to end in an auction and you see it already with 31 bids at 1,200, you know to stay away from it. Stay away from the fear of missing out because, like, for example, if you're a Flash fan, this is a must-have for you. It's not a rare book, but it doesn't come up very often. But what I always have the mindset of is if I see a book that I want, there's a certain amount I'm willing to pay for it. If I can't get it, then I will pass it up. I will not overbid or overpay to get a book I want because there'll always be another one out there. And you, like I said in the other video the other day, you have to have patience. So it may take weeks, may take months, may take a year or two, but it's worth it in the end as opposed to overpaying. And then if the market happens to go down, now you're underwater. And unless you have Aquaman, that's not going to help you much to be underwater. Or, you know, Submariner will keep it both Marvel and DC. So this person, this is the funny part about this. This person had this as a buy it now for $499 or best offer. Now, this was late at night. Now, if this was in the middle of the afternoon, I would have probably just accepted the $499 without even trying a best offer. But because I'm an insomniac and also I have several cats that wake me up in the middle of the night, when I can't fall right back asleep, I go online to see what's for sale. Now, this person had this listed for $499. I did an offer for $400. And before I had the chance to see if the person would respond by either declining or giving a counteroffer, I checked like literally a minute or two later and it was sold. So I was like, all right, I took the chance on that. I knew that 499 was a really good price for this book. But I thought because it was later at night, I thought I'd take the chance with the best offer. Somebody else bought it. But here's the key. About a half hour later, I get a message that says the buyer that bought the book asked for his money back or said asked to have it canceled. So because I was the first person after that person to make an offer, they accepted my original offer of $400. So with shipping and handling and taxes, I paid $433.77. That is a really good price for this book. First appearance of the Mirror Master, first solo issue for Barry Allen as the Flash. Technically, it's considered Flash #1. So I don't think as of now I'll be able to afford, at least with the money I have now, definitely not even going to be able to afford a page of the first appearance of the Golden Age Flash. But to have this book, this isn't his first appearance or anything, obviously, but still, first book in his own solo series, definitely a great book to have. I doubt any movie will ever use the Mirror Master, but hey, stranger things have happened. If they could make a talking tree famous, then you never know. A guy that has several reflections in a mirror, nothing's out of the impossibility range these days. So that is my video. I want to see if anybody now can understand why I did the thumbnail that I did. From now on, I'm going to try and make like hints where you can kind of guess what the book might be based on the thumbnail. But I will throw in some curveballs every now and then to throw you off so it's not always just easy to kind of figure it out. And sometimes it will be something maybe in the background. Like, for example, if you see the thumbnail I did yesterday, you may not know what book it is unless you really kind of search for what's in the image. So I'm going to do that more often because I think it's kind of cool to kind of give some subtle hints. So as you can see, it is a person wearing a Flash outfit with multiple mirrors all around them. So I'm sure that makes a little bit more sense now that you see it. So once again, shout out to my Patreon members. Let's give shout outs to our people in the live chat. We didn't have many, but you know, quality over quantity. So we got Phyllis Ling. Didn't see you. I see you now. You are one of today's surprise subscriber shout outs. Ray, you are also Silver Age Surfer. Ronald, also Amazing Murfinator. And I think that's everybody. Let me double check. Yes. So all of you are today's surprise subscriber shout out. Now, if you don't know what that means is what it means is once the video uploads in the comment section, if you have a YouTube channel, you could post a link to your YouTube page. Hopefully it'll get you a view or two. If you don't make videos or prefer to share a link to one of your social networks, maybe you sell comics on Instagram or have a Facebook page, you could post a link to your social network of your choice instead. Or if you have an auction site on, eBay or Amazon and you'd like to share that link, by all means, I'll leave it up to you. Just keep in mind, every link has to be checked, so it's going to automatically go to spam first, so I can verify it. This keeps anybody from putting inappropriate links onto my channel. I don't want anybody ever clicking on something and it goes to some website that sells shady products or an adult website that some kid accidentally clicked on. So if you do see a link, it means I did approve it and I did check it. So go support our fellow YouTubians. So Ray says, I will send the message shortly. Perfect. All right, so that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Thank you so much, everybody. Spread the word. Like I said, this is something brand new that I'm doing, so not many people know about it yet. But from now on, anytime I do a live video, if I get 10 separate super chats before the live show ends, I will give away one of my 90% silver dimes. I will ship it anywhere in the world, and I will pay the shipping and handling. So I think it's going to take a little time before people gravitate to it. But Silver Age Surfer, you are a god amongst gods. Thank you for being so considerate. And I wish you all a wonderful day. Please stay in if you're in the areas of the wonderful storms I see happening. And like I said, move to Florida. Right now, we're shoveling nothing but sunshine and sometimes cat shit from all the stray cats I have to take care of. So thanks for watching, everybody. You can like the video, you can dislike the video, you can subscribe, you can hit unsubscribe. I leave it up to you. I just appreciate you here regardless of your motives. And don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, it is not you, it is not I, it is We Love Comics. Have a wonderful day. I look forward to reading your comments when this video uploads. I hope you will leave one. And don't forget to have your trolls spayed or neutered.